Last week, President Obama appointed Avril D. Haines, the first woman as deputy director of the CIA. Haines replaces Michael Morrell, who's been at the agency for 33 years. Haines now holds the second highest leadership position at the agency. To explain the significance of high-powered women in national security is our guest, Professor Maria Haberfeld. She is the chair of the Department of Law, Police, and Science and CIA at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Professor Haberfeld, thank you so much for being here with us. This is really, really great news that Avril Haines was appointed to be deputy director at CIA. I'm imagining that you feel it's about time.
Absolutely, very much so.
Does this indicate a change? Is it getting easier for women to assume these higher positions, both in security and in the military?
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. When you look at women in law enforcement, when you look at police chiefs across the United States, across the world for that matter, it's less than %. Sometimes it's 2%. And of course, again, I am the first person to always say it's not about gender, it's not about race, it's about qualifications. We have to have the right person in the position. But it just cannot be that we continue to, in the 21st century, to discriminate. And I'm using this word consciously. We do discriminate against women.
And that brings me to my next question, Maria. You know, very often when there's a group that's underrepresented in any industry, there is the complaint by the industry that there are not enough qualified people in that pool. In this case, are there enough women going into security, seeking those high-level positions to represent the gender on that level?
As you know, I come from John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and our students in classrooms in which I teach are primarily women. And they go to John Jay College of Criminal Justice because they want a career in criminal justice. So I absolutely disagree with the notion that there aren't enough
So
women.
somewhere along the way, there's some bottlenecking happening.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Somewhere along the way, they're hired, but at a certain point when it comes to promotion, the equality and parity stops.
Well, for those that are there, and I also hearken to Ms. Pearson, who is the director of the Secret Service, you know, women are slowly seeping into those high-level positions. Let's talk about the ways that might change how things are done. You know, I'm thinking about the tailhook scandal, which was a long time ago, but now the issue of military sexual trauma, which seems to be an epidemic in the military. If women were in leadership positions, that wouldn't have gone on for as long, nor be as bad as it is today.
Absolutely. I think women are looked upon as infiltrating, so to speak, again, using this word consciously, the male-dominated profession when they have no business being or being promoted. And then there is some sort of a bias that may be not an overt bias, but there is a bias, and this bias exhibits itself in various forms. And some of this is absolutely, you know, the issue of sexual harassment. It's not sexual harassment per se, but sexual harassment based on the notion, this is not your job, what are you doing here? And, you know, it goes down.
Yeah, some say that mindset, particularly in the military, was contributed to the fact that women were not allowed to serve in combat positions, and that has slowly changed. And of course, we just heard in the news yesterday that now women will be allowed to train for and go for those frontline combat positions. How might that, and it's certainly down the road, but how might that change the culture in the military? It
will, but it's not just that they're allowed, because I heard on the news yesterday that there will be a set of standards finally identified. And I think in law enforcement, it's a problem. It's an endemic and systemic problem. We really don't know what kind of skills it takes to be in law enforcement or in the military, for that matter. So above and beyond agility, there are other skills that should and must be identified. And once they identify, I can assure you that there will be no differentiation, or there will be no difference between women and men in terms of having the skills.
Yeah, indeed. Maria Haberfeld, thank you so much for coming on. This is a great trend. Hopefully that it will indeed continue.
So. Thank you.
And you are watching Arise America.